Hey, yeah. we are in San Antonio. We're looking for bacon.
Yeah, we're in the swine committee only section.
So at Warped Tour, you wouldn't expect bacon. You might expect less than Jake.
Yes,
but you might not.
Bacon, Jamaican, but not bacon.
So thanks for hanging out, buddy. Appreciate it, man. I love the tie.
Yes,
good to meet you as well.
Our theme. I know Chris came over. He did not have the full regalia of suits for his press, but I keep it strong with our keep Warped Tour great again. Yeah. Well, he has to do the thing during the stage, and that's enough. We already have bets going on how long that's going to last on the tour too. Yeah.
He does do the thing. Yeah. That's for sure. So Dallas, I understand, was a dry heat. Today we have humid. They both suck. What's your preference?
You think that like all of Texas is supposed to be a wet heat. It's not. You're not in Phoenix yet, where it's like, oh, it's like an oven. It's cool. It's a dry heat, but that's worse for playing trombone, which is what I do. And when it's dry, you have to I'm trying to lick my mouthpiece, and there's no moisture at all still, and I'm like.
Any tricks?
Yesterday was worse. Today was actually pretty good because it was not only humid but raining, so that was good for us.
Yeah, you have to.
I just stuck my tongue out.
Here's a question you may not get every day. Do you have to use a lot of lube?
Well, I get that question often, actually. And yes, I lube my slide every day.
Awesome.
It's part of my daily routine. It's a dream job, if you will.
Absolutely. So Florida, do you get back there anymore? Or you guys are always on the road?
We were actually, we were out a lot last year, and then we came home, and we were like, okay, we're going to be home for a little while, and then we're going to write some stuff. And then we actually stayed home way longer than we thought we were going to be. Like, we did some stuff. We re-released Losing Streak and Rockview, Hello Rockview, on vinyl, and then went out and did like a tour where we just played Losing Streak and Rockview back to back in places. So that was good, but it was like 3 weeks, and then we went to Europe for like 10 days in the beginning of May, and so we haven't really done much this year. So this is really the kickoff of the rest of our year. We're doing the Warped Tour, then we get home and we go to Mexico City the weekend we get home. And then we come back and do our Wake and Bake weekend, which we do every year in Gainesville. And then we're off to Europe again in all of October to do a tour with the Skints, which are awesome, and the Bennies from Australia. It's going to be great.
That sounds like fun. So, no new album anytime soon.
Well,
no EPs, maybe.
Supposed to be, and also there's talks in September when we get back of finishing writing. We're supposed to write while we're out here on the Warped Tour, which could be a farce. We'll see what really happens. It's whether we really get in the back lounge and communicate musically.
Do you have any gear on the bus to keep those ideas, or you really writing?
We don't bring like a Pro Tools rig or anything like that. We just have like little acoustic guitars and like us hanging out and Vinny writes lyrics. And I have my trombone, like a second trombone. I can bring my mute up and we could try and write parts. But we have ideas started. We already have like the beginnings of a record going, but it's just not done yet. So we don't want to we don't have a label pressuring us anymore. So we're just taking our time until it's done, and then we're going to record and it'll be out, and then you guys can get it.
You guys come off as such an amazing, fun band when you watch the live performance, the songs, all the beats, just the whole thing is like it's all just party and fun. But I do know you guys, and I'm bringing this up because it's election year. You have some feelings about being political, maybe not so much being political, but speaking up.
We decided to embrace the logo of we're not embracing Donald Trump by any means, but we wanted to make Warped Tour great again, and so it's a political campaign that we're on. We're not on the Warped Tour, we're on the campaign trail.
Yes.
And we're trying to make Warped Tour great again. It's not really about the election, it's about the punk rock election of what should be on the Warped Tour. Basically.
I love it. Yeah, the first Warped Tour for me was #2, and so I remember when it was not as many genres. There was still a good spread, but today it's a big difference.
Kevin's always been good about that too. He's always been good about keeping a diversity of music on the Warped Tour, and what he's really uncanny about, and especially in the early years, he was really good about finding a band that was gonna be huge and signing them early, so they were on like some smaller, like Kid Rock, Sugar Ray, like bands that were that went on to be humongous. Were on like some side stage after their song came out big in the summer, but they had already signed up to do it, so they had to be like, we're out here doing the thing. And that was brilliant, like doing that ride with all the different huge bands like that. Kid Rock actually stole our dolly one time. We had like the dolly that moves, like merch shirts and stuff like that. We had it sitting outside our bus, and like it was gone. We're like, what the fuck? And we found it because it had our shit all over it. It had like Less Than Jake stickers and stuff on it. And we're like, you guys took our dolly. This is obviously our dolly. We had to like get our dolly back from Kid Rock. It's great.
The thing I would say about Kid Rock is he was sandwiched between a couple punk rock bands on a very small stage when I saw him at Warp, and he had to dodge turkey legs and beer cups
Yeah.
and that's all day long, dude.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely a diverse tour for sure.
absolutely. So if we were to look in your music collection, would we be surprised by anything we see if we think, oh, he's in Less Than Jake and he
You would be
plays ska
surprised by
punk?
almost everything in my collection. Yeah, it's definitely not all ska punk. There's a multitude of stuff in there. Like I like jazz and like I like all kinds of stuff. Like in high school, I was all about like The Cure and Depeche Mode and like those kind of bands, and that was my gateway into the alternative world. And then it turned into like Minor Threat and Fugazi and stuff like that.
Robert Smith is a gateway drug.
Yes, he is, and they're back out on tour again now. Right now, like I can't even believe it. Like,
3 hours a
he's
night?
like 400 years old. Like or at least that's what he looks like.
Oh, I know.
Makeup's running.
He still looks sad.
Yeah, he does. He has not found happiness yet. Why?
Yeah, well, it's not enough money yet. No money in music, you
Friday,
guys.
he's not in love.
Exactly. Man, I thank you for spending time on DaveTV. It was a pleasure to meet
Awesome.
you and see you
Pleasure to
again.
meet you too.
So, best of luck on the rest of the tour. You're doing the whole thing?
Oh yeah, we're on this entirety. Day 1 is done, and now for us, day 2 is done. As soon as I get done with press, I'm off the hook.
I'll see you in the pit.
Such a good job. 3 o'clock, I'm gonna be off work.
Well, thanks again, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
cheers.
it. Cheers.